Hi students, this video lesson is to teach you about grouping and making holes so that you can make yourself a dream vehicle. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to go to Tinkercad and create a new design. We're going to call this design Dream Vehicle. So Dream Vehicle. Very good. There we go. The first thing we're going to do is practice a couple of skills. So first of all, we want to know how to group two objects together. So I could put a box here and then maybe make that a little bigger and then put the work plane tool on top of it. And I can pull in another shape on top of it. So they're touching, but I can still move them independent of each other. What I want to be able to do now is to make these one object. So remember how we do that is we just pull a rectangle around all of our objects. That selects them both. Again, that's just taking the mouse, holding it down, and pulling a selection box around until both are highlighted. And then you can click on this square circle tool up here called group. And when we click on that, it becomes one object. Remember that if you want the original colors back, you got to click on multicolor and that works. Okay. Now, if you go and you make, for instance, you wanted to make a change, I could click on this and ungroup it. I could, for instance, turn this cylinder into a hole. Whoop. Let me undo that. I had both selected. Turn just the cylinder into a hole, and I could lower that cylinder into here. And then if I grouped these, then that would actually make a hole in my object there. So just so you understand how you could use holes to be able to do that. Okay, so I'm going to try to make something that looks like a car. I'm going to first pull a box in here, maybe make it a little longer, maybe curve the edges a little bit, make a little wider. And ooh, I like red for the car. Maybe make it a little bit longer here. And then I'm probably going to want to lift this up off the ground. Okay, then I got to think what would make for a good wheel right here. Well, I could use a cylinder. The problem is if I pull a cylinder in like this, it's facing in the wrong direction. So what I can do is I could use the work plane tool and click on this side, and then I can pull a cylinder in right about here. Now that's looking a little big for my tastes, but so I can make some adjustments on this. I can grab this by the corner and make this still the same size in either direction, but maybe I'll make it 15 in either direction. Good. Looked at from the side, that is looking way too long there, so I can grab that top one and make it a little narrower like that. And lastly, I probably want to make that black for a black tire. So that's looking pretty good there. I want to make whatever adjustments I want. That's still looking a little thick there. So that looks pretty good. So what I can do now is I could actually duplicate this. I could make copies of it. I could either click the duplication tool and then use my keyboard arrows, or I could pull it around and do it that way. Move this over a little bit. And then I can also do the same thing here where I could duplicate this and then move it over in this direction. Whoops. Love my undo button. Let's see if I look at it from this direction, I could probably move it over. Nope. It doesn't want to move in that direction. So I'm going to have to pull it over. Ooh, it's pulling it along this. I see the problem. I need to turn the work plane tool off. So I'm going to click down here. And now I'm going to move it sideways. Here we go. I can move it sideways. So I get it to here and I move it back. And then I can probably do the same thing here. Do this one and move this one forward. Now I've got 4 wheels. That's looking pretty good, but this does not look great in terms of a dream car. So now I want to add in other features. So I want to maybe add another box on top of this. So I could click the work plane tool up here and add another box on top, maybe make that a little shorter and lengthen this a little bit, give it a little bit of a curve. I can make this wider, maybe match the width of the car itself here and here. Looking pretty good so far. And yeah, that's looking pretty good so far, but still kind of looking boxy. At this point, I'm going to group everything so I don't lose what I have. So I'm going to select everything and click group. Now I'm going to lose my coloring on this until I go in and click multicolor. Now, at this point, I kind of want to have my windshield kind of diagonal that way. So what I might do here is, what could I use to cut that off? I think I'm going to drag another box in here. And I'm going to turn it into a hole. And I'm going to turn it diagonal like this. And then I'm going to pull it over and up. See here. I want to make this cut away so I have kind of an angle going here. So I'm going to use this as a hole. Looks like I need to lift it a little bit more because it's cutting out. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And now I can group this hole with that. And look, that'll cut away that front part. Looks like I missed a bit right there. So I need to undo that grouping and maybe make this go down a little bit more. There we go. Let's try the grouping again and see if that worked. Yeah, that worked pretty well. I've got that top piece there now angled. And now I might want to add in like a windshield up front here. So I could do that by putting the work plane now on here. And I could add in another box right about there. Make this a lot skinnier and maybe curve it a little bit. Now watch this trick. I can make this light blue and transparent, meaning I could see through it. And I can maybe move this in a little bit. Looks like I'm stuck out a little bit on this side. And I'm adding in other features to the car. So it is up to you what you want to add into yours. I'm going to group all this together again. And so far, looking pretty good here. And I could add in an antenna, maybe a hood, maybe some handles, maybe a spoiler in the back. I don't know. What do you want to add into yours? Yours does not need to look like mine, but it does need to be grouped. Okay, hope that helps.